Hey everybody, it's J-Dubs. I'm gonna do a brief explanation of like a beginner sort of guide as to how I pay for a token every month. Just with professions and a little bit of mucking around in the auction house every month. So before I get started, it all depends on your server. Your server kind of dictates if any of this information is relevant or not. And yeah, let's get started. So for beginners, what I would suggest is getting into cooking. You can, depending as to your server, you can level up cooking for as low as 10,000 gold, which might sound like a lot of gold to some people, but not a lot to others. So if we look at some of the things in here, TSM will say, yes, these are all great things to cook. Don't always believe immediately what things tell you, because you could spend 100,000 gold on something, or maybe 10,000 gold trying to make something, and then you get 8,000 back and you're like, well, my add-on said it was great. So always check. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to get out a handy dandy calculator. Whoop. Doesn't show, but I'm going to quickly price up everything, for example, for a palatable feast, right? So 1,400 gold we'll start with is how much it costs. Then what we're going to do now is we're going to take 5 lots of 49 gold, which is, we'll just say 250 off of it. Yep. Then pocked bonefish, 44 gold times 5 is 200 and, no it's not, yes it is, 220 gold. Why don't I just do this, Jordan? That's way smarter. So minus 220, so we've still got 930 gold. The wings are nothing, so we'll just say 5 gold. Okay, actually we'll just say 10 gold. We'll be generous, because they're not always this cheap. Then we're going to look at creepy crawler meat. 70 gold each, so 5 of these would cost us 350 gold. So, and then we've got a few more bits. So, if we look at a listing and fade, it's 38 each. So 3 of those is 116. So 450 gold left. Then we've got these, which I wouldn't even put these into the calculations normally, but we'll just say that they're 20 gold for the lot. They're always less. We can buy them from the vendor for really cheap, but we'll say that for the sake of it. So after minusing out all of those things, we've got 434 gold profit per palatable feast. So it's going to cost us maybe 900 gold to make one, almost, maybe 1,000, but we'll make over 400 gold per unit. So we'll say they're a flat 1,000 gold to make, right? I make 10 of them. For 10,000 gold I pay for, and if I sell them all at the same price, right, it would be 1,099 times 10 is 13,990. But the auction house takes a brief cut, so we're still left with 13,290, which once you take off your 10,000, investment, you're left with 3,290 gold. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a start. And I would strongly suggest for everyone that wants to start making money, is to go through cooking and start looking at all of the things that they can make, because more often than not, a lot of these large meals are actually very profitable. My next one that I would suggest would be Enchanting. Enchanting is always good. Just because, and now it's very good considering that gear is constantly upgrading for players. The raid's out, everyone wants all that stuff enchanted all the time, so obviously these enchants are going to be worth something. A great example would be the cloak enchants. So these enchants cost 2 sacred shards and 4 soul dust, right? So soul dust on my server is not a whole lot. So 4 of that is 65 gold we'll start with. So we'll put in that there, on my other screen, sorry. and then 200 for these, and we need 2, so that's 400. So it costs us 465 gold to make any of these cloak enchantments. But now what we're going to do is we're going to look, this one is 550 gold almost, so we're almost making about an 80 gold profit, which is reasonable, but it's not great. Then we've got this one, 800 gold. That's almost double the investment that we put in just for a cloak enchant. And then we'll look at this one, which I think is the highest one. Yeah, so that's, like I said, also close to double what we put in just for a cloak enchant. Obviously, say I bought 60 shards, I don't want to just make only the one that sells for the most, because 60 shards, that's 30 of this enchant. I'm trying to sell 30 of the same enchant. It will take a lot longer, and you're more open to being undercut by people, and it's not a good time. So what you should do is, in that instance, you want to make 10 of each of these. Even though the first one, like we saw just before, doesn't actually give you as much money, diversifying where your income is coming from allows it to kind of push the revenue a bit faster. So that's just an example for the cloak enchantments. So now we're going to look at the rings. So ring enchants cost 3 sacred shards, which, as we saw before, were 200 gold each. This means that it costs us 600 gold to make ring enchants. So what we should do is, obviously, because the haste and mastery ones are lower than 600 gold, we don't want them, because if I made them, I would lose money. Now what we'll do is we'll look at the versatility enchant, which is 649 gold. But when the auction house takes that cut, we're left with 711 gold. So 600 gold goes in and we get 711 out. We're up 111 gold, which is not a bad return. We're making money slowly, but we're making it. Inscription was absolutely fantastic at the start of the expansion. Everyone was making Dark Moon decks, and they were selling like crazy, and I made 400,000 gold in a day just by selling Dark Moon decks, as in 400,000 profit. At the moment, unfortunately, they're not too hot. There's not a lot going in Inscription. Apparently, I'll show you some other things. Alright, so this is my second character that I've been using to make gold. Yep, sweet. So what we're going to look at now is some other professions. Jewel crafting doesn't seem like it's a very good profession at the moment, but I've had a lot of very good success with it, personally, on my realm. So there's not a whole lot that you can make that's great, but an example of a good thing at the moment would be this necklace. So if we look at the necklace, it's 293 gold. The reason why it's so low is because it's a 151 necklace, and the only thing that people would buy it for is for gearing up ults, right? So we look at this. This costs 76 gold to buy this. So we tally that. This ore is another 44 gold, 45. Yep, 121, and sure, let's buy malleable wire off here. 6 gold. So it's cost us 127 gold for this item. That is 300 gold, which is great. Another example would have to be these rings, right? So we look at this jewel cluster. We need 2 of these. 109 gold. Then we look at oxygen ore. 34 gold. 35. We'll even be generous. We'll say 36. And then wire again, which we saw just before, is, you know, we'll say 7 gold. So it's cost us 152. But this is selling for 400 and almost 50, which is over double the amount that we put in. And surprisingly, on my server, there's been a lot of sales for this item, which kind of helps. Like, I won't craft 100 at a time, but you know, as I go through, I might craft maybe 2 of each, and then I'll slap them up on the auction house, and then I'll see how I go. Now this last one is an obvious one. Alchemy. Alchemy always makes money. I swear there's never a time when alchemy doesn't make money. At least a crumb. There's so many different recipes, but it's always worth double checking to see where you should sort of invest your money. You want to make a few different things that are profitable, and then you can upload them all instead of just making 300 of the same item and being like, so hard, I'm not making any money. So I'll show you a few things first. So spiritual clarity potion, right? So for Vigil's torch on my realm is 43 gold, and you need 5 of them, so that's 217 gold is how much that'll cost me. But if I look to see how much this costs, 420 gold. So I'm making a profit on making these if I make them right now. But I don't want to overcommit in case the market for this item crashes. So what I would generally do personally is I might buy 100 of these, right? And that will allow me to make 20 of the clarity potions. And if you look, that's going to cost me 4,300 to make 20 of these. It's 8,400. That's something that I'll be able to sell that amount pretty easily, and I'm not overcommitting. Then another one would be phantom fire potions. These are crazy for me. So I need 3 of this, which is 150, and 3 of this. So this is costing me 308 gold, right? But the potion itself sells for almost 400, which is about a 25% increase. So it's important to note that these potions are highly competitive. So if I'm not going in here, scanning all the time and saying, hey, someone's undercut me, I need to unlist my post and relist, then what's the point? Because they're not going to sell. So what I've been doing is I bought the materials to make 100 of these, and as I would make them in stacks of 20, I would still be talking to the auctioneer, and I would cancel them if someone's undercut me, obviously, and then I would put up a fresh one just in case, you know? So that way I'm always the first person that they pick. There's a lot of other things that you can make. Even this embalmer's oil, I've made a fair bit of it. It costs me 20 gold to make, not even that, 36 gold to make, and it's selling for 70. So that's not a lot, but it's all about being consistent. If you make consistent gains in revenue, you're going to be able to buy a token, you're going to be able to buy something that you want, and you're going to be good. It's all about consistently putting in the work, and even if that's small, it doesn't matter how much money you're making, as long as you're making a bit and you're having fun. Finally, we're going to show off this amazing little mailbox that we got here. So as you can tell, 186k. This was all made today. I put a few hours in, not even a few hours, I was just mucking around really. I was waiting for my friends to come on, and I set up a few things to sell, and that's how it went. 186k, and anyone can do it. You just have to put a little bit of time, and you just have to do a little bit of research. It's not hard. I believe in you. Anyway, if any of this has helped, please follow me on Twitch for more streams about all sorts of random stuff. Check out my YouTube. Subscribe to me on YouTube if you enjoyed this sort of stuff. Obviously, there's more ways than what I've said to make money. I believe leatherworking armor kits are probably a good way to make money, but it all depends on your realm. And I really hope this helps someone buy a token and they go, thanks a bunch, J-Dubs. I really appreciate it. Alright, we'll see you guys next time, and thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm just gonna get this money. Big, huge. Anyone can do it.